So, Abhimanyu Dassani, this is our third interview or fourth interview. We've done so many by now, but this is for a big film, which I think you've been looking forward to for years, and so have we. Nikamma is finally releasing on the big screen. So, Abhimanyu, how would you firstly express yourself actually based on this whole release date finally pulling through?
I mean, in short, I'm just excited that finally you guys get to see what we've been working on for a while. Um, and great times for it to come back because people are going back to the theaters. And, this is a film that we waited to show you guys in the theater because that's where you're going to enjoy it.
Right, right. Now, I mean, look, it's a big feat. Okay, I mean, this is
Yeah.
something which is, it's a very commercial masala film. So I think first of all, I want to congratulate you because I know this has always been something I'm sure any actor has always aspired to do, is to let your hair down and to have this full-on commercial space. It, in a way, when I watched the trailer, it for me it reminded me of the days where I grew up watching Govinda and his style of movies. So I guess that must have been quite a reference point for you as well, right? Throughout the shooting.
Absolutely. The commercial masala genre that people like to call it. Yeah, it's exciting, but it's extremely tough. To be honest, I was trying to stay away from it, hence my first two films. But then again, I saw it as a challenge. I was like, okay, let me see if I can do this. And fortunately, it was Sabbir sir who's had commercial hits, so I felt safe working with him. He had a very collaborative process. So a couple of parts in the film you'll see, and you'll figure that I've kind of contrived that from somewhere or the other. It has that Abhimanyu touch to it. But yeah, other than that, Govinda sir was one of my inspirations for the character. I would say I rewatched a lot of his films. He's been the king of comedy, in this genre. But I would say, taking into account the actors who are doing really great in this particular genre right now, would be like Varun Dhawan, Karthik Aryan, Tiger Shroff. So this character has, I think, it has something that all the fans of Varun and Tiger and Karthik will enjoy. This Adi like incompensates or uh, kind of all of these attributes.
Right. That's very true. And I love commercial cinema. I think commercial Hindi cinema has always been a fabric of escapism. It's always been something which has always drawn audiences towards the cinemas as well. So I think given the fact that obviously we're fighting a pandemic and we've seen some great works of cinema, we are seeing some great works of cinema as well. But how important is it, do you think, to have films like Nikamma in terms of being that magnet of attracting audiences back to cinemas and the theaters?
Oh,
Good quality commercial.
When you come to Indian cinema, the large part of the audience of Indian cinema, according to me, wants films in context or in relation with kind of escapism. So they want to escape from the troubles of their daily life, and they just want to see an underdog win, so they feel good about their life and they're hopeful. And because there's so much to fight throughout the day, and like you said, in the pandemic, we've seen so much of drugs and gangsters and sex and all of that on your OTT. It's about time that people just leave their brains at home, go have fun for 3 hours, and just come out smiling.
Right. And I think also what I find very interesting, and I think just to tie up with what you said there, as you know, society has changed a lot since obviously the Govinda style of films that we grown up with, right? We're living in a society which is a lot more woke, which is a lot more aware of social issues and topics. How do you think commercial cinema is changing now, especially given in the woke cinema the woke era that we're living in?
I feel the Indian cinema industry or Indian film industry is going through somewhat of a shift, a paradigm shift, and right now it's in between. The change is still happening. The makers are still trying to understand the change. The audience is still trying to understand themselves. So, I mean, there's not much that I can comment on it right now, except I think in the theaters you're going to need tentpole films. You're going to need action. You're going to need larger than life stuff to get people out of the houses and come and watch. in the theaters. But when you have OTT, you'll have a lot more content that you didn't see earlier. Just because there's access to it now, there's chance for new actors, directors, script writers to experiment and to try things that might not work in the theaters.
Right. And again, I think when I look at this film and then I look at Mar Kudar Nahi Hota, I think even though there's action is a very pivotal part of both the films, I feel like the style is very different in terms of the action scenes as well. I mean, I'm
Right.
not an expert at action sequences by whatsoever, so take it with a pinch of salt when I say that. But in terms of what did it teach you actually doing both these films about action and executing action as well? Because obviously the style was very more martial arts based, right? In Mat Godar Nahi Hota, here it's more masala.
I mean, the most important thing that I learned is that I love action. But fortunately got to work with an amazing action director this time as well. Another from the south, and there's a lot of, like you said, there's masala action in this, and the taking style is different, and I've kind of changed the postures from martial arts to make it more hero type and stuff like that. But it's interesting. It's fun how there are very different styles of taking. When you see my action in Mar Kudar Nahi Hota, you have never seen one take shots. All my action was one take, really long shots of the whole action scene going down, one particular move from start to end. That's usually not shown in films. It's a lot of cuts.
Right.
And so I tried to tell Anil sir, we can do the cuts and make it look really cool, but I can do these things in one take. So, kind of like mix it up, can have some takes to make it look cool, but the main action where I'm like, there's one particular flying kick that I'm doing, which I really enjoyed learning. It's you can see it in the trailer. It's almost like I'm walking in the air and then I'm kicking. So those things I said, don't cut it. Like, let me do the whole thing. You see, it looks cool. So it was great. It was great working with him. And again, it was a collaborative process, which I really enjoyed. So a lot of action sequences before Anil sir came to Lucknow, me and my trainer, after the 15-16 hours of shoot, we used to go to the terrace, put some gaddas, and we used to practice scenes. Depending on how the scene in the film is, we would see how many people are there, how many stunts we can put in, and we would take videos of it. So the first time Anil sir came on set, I showed him a bank of videos, which, like Bollywood movies, those stunts haven't been done. I was like, boom, 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 boom. I can do all these. Which can you incorporate in the film? And he was so happy. He was like, wow, that's what homework is. Let's collaborate and we finished the action shoot almost 3-4 hours early every single day.
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah, that was pretty sick. And we saved after that a day of action shoot in Lucknow. So I think Sabbir sir was very happy.
That is very interesting. Tiger Shroff and Kriti Sanon began their careers with Heropanti, and obviously since then they've really been doing extremely well, and they've done very well for themselves. So I think working with someone like Sabbir Khan, what has that meant for you in terms of as an actor, as an artist? What has that significance meant to you?
See, I would like to call myself a director's actor, and I like to submit to the director because I believe he is the captain of the ship, and his vision is what I want to portray. But Sabbir sir had a very collaborative process, which actually I enjoy, because there's a lot of things that I can get to the character, I feel, and then I discuss with him that, can we do this? Can we do this? Like, for example, this particular character, there's this person in your life who's perpetually sleeping, and whenever they meet you, they tell you they haven't slept enough. Right? Everyone has this particular person in their life, and that's what I wanted to get to. And he's like, how are people going to notice? Because I said, see, I'm going to have dark circles throughout the film. He's like, you're not going to look nice. I said, I don't have to look nice. I have to look like a Nikamma who does not care about himself.
Right.
Yeah. So he was fun. He was very, very understanding, and he made sure like I was a part of, whether it's the edit or the music or the scenes written, and he made it very warm, because I was actually second guessing if I can do what it takes to do, for a commercial actor. And he was extremely supportive, and yeah, he pushed me a lot of workshops. We did a lot of workshops to kind of free myself, and I enjoyed. I learned a lot from him.
Right. Now, I think uh, when it comes to the pandemic, I think like a lot of your films that you were shooting on, I mean, we've obviously spoken about it before as well.
Yeah,
Ankamacholi, obviously, you had to shoot during the COVID period, and that was during the peak COVID period, huh? It wasn't even during after the waves. I think it was just during the first wave or second wave. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Even I think this one as well, you had to shoot some portions, right? I think.
Second wave, yeah, during the second wave, and then I shot all of Meenakshi during COVID as well.
What a film. I mean, it kind of made sense with Meenakshi you shooting it during the pandemic because you both were distant anyway, so it
Yeah,
kind of
exactly,
made
exactly.
sense. But I think when it comes to actually shooting in the pandemic, what sort of changes have you encountered now on sets that perhaps were not there beforehand?
Uh, so because of security reasons and because of health and hygiene, everything was delayed. So the amount of work we could actually do in a day was reduced by about 4 hours because everyone had to get tests done. We had like me and Sanya used to check our temperature like 4 times a day, our oxygen levels. Plus everyone's wearing masks, so everyone's getting even more tired than they used to before. There is a constriction in breathing, and if you're wearing PP suits, which a lot of people on set did, it was extremely hot
Yes,
and extremely tiring. Fortunately, as actors, we didn't have to wear the suits, but we were always exposed because we couldn't wear our masks while shooting, right?
of course. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that was the only thing as such that I found different during COVID shoots. And yeah, obviously there was some type of fear also that a lot of people on set had, that if someone is coughing also, it's everyone goes like on a high alert really quickly. So a lot of people were on edge, which is understandable. There have been some horror stories that we've heard, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
but I mean, you have to do what you have to do, right? And fortunately, no one got COVID on our set in Meenakshi Samareshwar, and it will be a nice film. I'm happy that, and the experience was very smooth. Shout out to Andy from Dharma. He was the EP, and he made sure everyone was very comfortable. Um, I'd say he spoiled us even in COVID. We were very happy. Fun shoot. Everyone was really enjoying themselves, and I think that's what reflects on the screen when you watch it.
Oh
You
yes.
see like the whole thing. We just had fun doing it.
Absolutely. And I say this all the time. I feel like जिस तरह से आप conviction डालते हो film बनाने में वो नजर आता है final product में. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
given.
yeah.
You know what?
Or anything you do, if you enjoy doing it, you'll see the result will be something that you appreciate.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. I'm just touching on your earlier point about the sort of, I guess, tips and the brief that Sabbir Khan had given you about you being a slacker and not you being looking that good. But you look fine. I must tell you, you look lovely on screen. I must clarify that. Especially when you take off the shirt and you show the abs. That was my favorite part of it, as you can understand. Right. So obviously, as far as
I tried so hard to avoid it. I tried so hard in the whole film to avoid it. I was like, I don't want to do that.
don't lie, you were loving every moment of it. Huh? You were
No,
loving it.
okay. Watch the film and you'll see how much I've avoided body shots in the whole film.
Okay, fine. I'll keep a note of that.
Yeah.
But I think also you were talking about him saying to you about you being a slacker and all of that. And I've known you for a while, and I know you're anything but a slacker. You're mischievous, and you're all everything else. You're compassionate, you're patient, you're lovely, but you're definitely not a slacker. So I guess how was it for you to actually become a slacker? Like, what sort of things helped you to become that when you're trying to portray that actively on screen? Because
I mean,
huh.
so the word Nikamma, I feel all of us have been called a Nikamma. If it's not in the word, but the essence of it in different languages or using a different word, all of us have been called Nikamma at some point in our life, right? That's why it's so common. And I just tried to go back to the feeling when I was a Nikamma, and I was like, what did I do? I wouldn't take care of myself. So I have an out of bed look for Adi. I've got a scruff. because he doesn't shave really well. So it's a commercial film, so I have to have a body, but I still put on 10 kilos and I got really chubby cheeks in the film. And of course, I didn't sleep, so there were dark circles to give like at least a kind of visual representation different from the other characters that I've done, whether you see Mud or whether you see Meenakshi, or even when you see Akhmecholi, which will come out 3 months from now, you'll see a very distinct physical transformation when you see these characters put together. And that's what I wanted to bring to Adi, because I didn't want it to be just a commercial film, because I like to add like a little Abhimanyu in it and make it like an unconventional commercial film. So I think this is what we've done with this film. It is, yes, it has everything that you'd want in a commercial film, but there are certain things that you wouldn't expect, and that's what makes this unconventional, I guess.
It's interesting you say this, because I was having a conversation actually with someone just recently at an event, and they were describing me the process of acting, and they're saying, see, acting is not you just becoming someone completely different. It's actually you being in their position, being in their shoes, but then adding yourself as well. So do you think that's been a fundamental skill for you as well, to bring that sense of Abhimanyu a little bit in everything you do?
Yes, and I also try and reduce or eliminate as much as Abhimanyu I can in every character, so that it is distinct. You know, I don't want them to call my films Abhimanyu type of films, which you do for a lot of others.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So an actor who does Meenakshi would not do Mad Kudrat Nahi Hota. An actor who does Meenakshi would not do a Nikamma. So I try to reduce the amount of Abhimanyu, but yes, I am who I am, and subconsciously I will put in things that I've been through, that I've experienced, that I've learned from other people, and a lot of times I do that on set. You know, there are a lot of I like to believe that I'm very observant, so I pick up from things that people do on sets. So yeah, I like to pick up what other actors that I've worked on. Like if I've worked on so I worked on Akhmecholi before I went on the Meenakshi side.
Yes. Yeah.
So I learned so much from Paresh Rawal sir and Divya Datta ma'am and Vijay Raj sir, and I tried to like put that into the character, which made Sundar different from Abhimanyu. You know, because anyone who knows me realizes that that's definitely not the guy. You know? Right. So that's something that I like to minimize it, but it is what it is. You have to put some of yourself. I mean, that's the only way to go through it.
And I think another beautiful thing about you and perhaps this film, I mean, you obviously have grown up around some strong women in your life. I mean, of course, your mum, Bhagashi. I think I realized the real struggles of her, I think, after watching Smart Jodi as well. So it really put things into a lot more perspective. And here, obviously, Shilpa Shetty is making her comeback after a massive hiatus. So again, you've been surrounded by very strong women. So when you were working with Shilpa, because I know Shilpa has said that her character Avni is very strong. Now I'm not sure, you know, what happens in like, because I know this is an adaptation of a Telugu film, right? Or like it's inspired from a Telugu film. So I've not seen the original one to give an opinion.
So this is a remake. It's the official remake of the Telugu film MCA.
Right. So with Shilpa's character as well, working with her on set, I mean, of course, besides you both being fitness enthusiasts and you know, icons in that sense, what was it like to work with her?
I mean, fortunately, I've been surrounded by strong women all my life, whether it's my mother, whether it's my sister, whether it's my friends. You know, I always feel that there's a lot of motivation and inspiration that I receive in my life by the women that are around or that surround me. And I was really happy that Shilpa Shetty is one of them, because obviously she's had an immense experience in this industry. But you have to see, for the amount of years that she wasn't in film, she still kept herself relevant.
True. Yeah, I agree.
That's hard to do. That is hard to do. But you know, when she comes on set, she's extremely warm, extremely energetic. She has this aura where, you know, whenever she comes on to set, suddenly everyone is smiling, and I'm like, listen, it's 5 a.m. It's cold as hell. I don't want to smile right now. And she would come like all energetic, like let's shoot. I'm like, okay, but she's been a great support, not only on set but also off set. Uh, I can't even say we kept in touch. She kept in touch during the pandemic, checking up on me time and again. And I've not gained a friend or a co-actor in this film. It's someone that I would like to keep for the rest of my life, and draw that inspiration and motivation to become a better version of myself.
Right, beautifully said. But when you look back at the Abhimanyu that was killing it in TIFF, with Marco Darni Hota, and again some of the awards. And I remember we did that podcast as well. I think just after you had a roundtable chat about people.
I think I was in Utah on the airport.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a long time ago. I mean, I can't recognize myself back then.
Yeah,
How are you able to identify yourself, Abhimanyu? How does it feel? How would you describe that growth that you've been having as a person?
How would I describe the growth I was having? I don't know, man. Wow, that's extremely introspective question.
I know.
I guess I've become more kind of go with the flow since then. You make plans for life and you set these images in your head, and then you work your ass off to reach these goals that you have made. And suddenly the pandemic happens and you're sitting at home for 2 years. So you can't really plan how you want your life. Yes, you set your goals and you work towards them, but it's more important that you are flexible to shift with the circumstances around you. And the most important thing is, which I knew back when I was in Toronto, but I kind of forgot it in between. And now, like, I'm reminding myself that it's very important that you enjoy the process and have fun every single day. I think that was a huge reminder that these 2 years have not only brought to me, but I think everyone around us. Do these small things that make you happy, and that's what success is. Success is not being extremely, I don't know how to put it, big in whatever profession that you're doing. It's about being happy doing what you're doing. I think that is success, right? So it's very important that you enjoy the process, and I just don't get it. Everyone jumps on the word struggle so much and kind of elevates it. I'm like, if you call your life a struggle, that means you didn't enjoy it. Like I've been through a little in my life, and I like to call it an adventure. I'm happy where I am, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't go through XYZ scenarios, no matter how much they hurt, no matter how much they changed. Yeah. Right. So I like to call it an adventure, like enjoy what you're doing and just that's how you live. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're good.
Yeah, and I must say the confidence you've shown, I mean, because we've done a few interactions before, and I must say that confidence is very much coming across now. Like you seem to be very much more confident in your responses as well. So that just goes to show the journey that you've had. And I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. But I also remember we did a podcast as well after where you had mentioned that people were not really giving you that due attention that perhaps other actors who have a bit more of a decorated backing get. You never got the magazine covers, you never got all of that. So how is that changing now? I mean, do you feel like
no? I said those things to make it very clear, because everyone stereotyped the word nepotism and didn't really understand the meaning of it. Nepotism is almost like celebrated favoritism in a way. It is, the word meaning of nepotism would be entitlement, if I can relate it close enough. Whereas being a star kid is a title. They're different words, they have different meanings. That doesn't mean every star kid is entitled.
Yeah.
Right. So I got all the negativity of being a star kid, plus I got zero advantages. So I was just trying to make that clear. I said, guys, like, what advantage have I got? Are you serious? Like, at least make sure that you have your statement with facts. There are zero facts except that I'm Bhagyashi's son. There's nothing that connects any advantage that I've had through my career.
But I think just going back to my original question, do you feel like you're getting that due credit now? Do you think you're getting that
I
due
I
attention that you
honestly
deserve?
I honestly don't care about the attention. I honestly, I honestly don't care. I enjoy what I do. The people that I would like to watch my work, or the people that I admire, they watch my work, and there is a mutual respect that goes through that. And I'm enjoying what I do. Whether I get all those perks or not, that's not what I'm in it for. These films that I'm doing, I have a strategy. I have a goal that I want to hit 6 different genres with my first film, which I don't think has been done by any other actor in the Indian film industry. So, we're 3 for 3 right now.
Right, absolutely. No, 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 it's good. And again, you also have a business acumen also, because you did startups before you went into acting, right? So I
Yeah.
guess that must really help you to determine, right, like your sort of goals and stuff like that.
Uh, I not really actually, to be honest. It's just that something excites me in because of my business acumen or whatever history I've had being behind the camera and everything, that I understand the process that a producer and director get, and the limitations that they have. So I feel that my history of working as assistant director makes me more compassionate towards the whole process,
Hmm.
and I guess it makes me a more understanding actor when I'm on set. I think that's what I bring to the table because of the history that I've had.
Right. On a final note, because I know we have to wrap up now. So you've got Archimacholi coming up, which I think I'm very looking forward to. It's going to be a very special film for me also, for many reasons, because obviously I've got two friends from the industry who are working together, and it's going to be, I can't wait to watch that. It's going to be such a treat. Big fan of Umesh Shukla's work as well, and of course the respective actors within it. But post that, do you have any other films lined up? Is there any other projects that we can look forward to?
It won't be a festival film. It won't be a romantic film. It won't be a commercial action film. It won't be a comedy
Oh, okay. Okay.
film. It
Well,
has
if
to
it's
be genre
horror,
number 5.
I hope it's horror because I love horror. So I hope it's that. Oh my God. Oh God. Now, what a cliffhanger to land on. But certainly no easy feat for Nikamma to achieve what Abhimanyu Dassani has achieved. I think it's definitely great for me to see this growth that you're having. Wait.
Appreciate the love that you keep sending, Anuj.
Always, always, man, always. I think you're genuinely really, really good, and I think I'm just very passionate for very talented and passionate people like myself. So I think it's just a mutual vibe that's there. So honestly, man, Nikamma's gonna be good. I can't wait to watch it, and can't wait to catch up with you super soon again, and hopefully see you in London soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.